guys, you probably realised that I'm in a different room than what I normally film, and that is because I'm in my bathroom because it is 11 o'clock at night, and I'm using a stack of toilet papers as a tripod. But I came up with this video idea and I was like, I have to film this now, otherwise it won't be how I want it because I have all the ideas running in my head. And that video is times I have nearly died. And that just perfectly sums up what I think about when I'm going to bed. Anyway, let's go. Time I've nearly died number 1. So, I was about 10 years old. I just finished a dance show and my nan and her friend had come and watched, and we were going home because all I wanted to do was go to bed because I was really tired and I didn't really feel like meeting the Grim Reaper that day, but it almost happened. So anyway, my nan's friend was the one that was driving us home, and she had parked at the top of this really, really, really steep hill, and I got in the car, she got in the car, she put her handbag on the handbrake, and somehow in that motion the strap of the handbag wrapped itself round the handbrake, pulled the handbrake down or up, I don't drive, whichever one makes the car go, and the car started rolling down the hill. My nan was still on the outside of the car at this time. Just try and get this image in your head. A car is rolling down the hill. My grandmother, who is she was probably about 60 at the time, and she walks around like she's got a 40-stone human strapped to her back. But she was trying to chase after the car, which was probably going about 20 miles an hour, and she was holding onto the back of it and trying to yank open the doors and stop it herself. I think I have that image engraved in my head for the rest of my life. Anyway, meanwhile, I was on the inside of the car and the doors were child locked, which means you can only open them from the outside. So I was just sat there like, this is it. This is my death. I am going to die from rolling down a hill. You know, when I die, I hope it's some sort of incredible, epic death which will be remembered forever. Preferably not including murder. And if that's not going to happen, hopefully old age. You know, I hope it happens when I'm old. Why am I thinking of ways that I want to die? This is getting really morbid. It's 11 o'clock at night. Anyway, moving on. So I was sat in this car going gradually faster down a hill. My nan had turned into the Incredible Hulk and was trying to pull the car back, and my nan's friend was having a meltdown trying to get this handbag unwrapped from a handbrake. We were just getting nearer and nearer to the car in front of us, and my life flashed before my eyes, and then suddenly someone up above was on our side that day, and the handbag unleashed itself and I didn't die. But that wasn't the only time I've been close to death. Near-death experience number 2 was only a couple of months ago. And it also involved being in a car, which is, you know, it's probably a sign. And this is another reason why I don't get driving lessons, because cars do not like me or my family. Anyway, I was shopping with my mum. We had parked in a car park in the middle of nowhere. It was one of those days where the British weather had decided to have a little party. It was a lovely day for the majority of the day, but when it got to the evening, suddenly a cloud just came down from the heavens. It was like the apocalypse and engulfed the ground. Like literally, it was, I couldn't see my hand in front of my face. It was so foggy. And we got back to the car park, find the car. That was number one problem of the day. We couldn't find the car. We knew we had parked it somewhere in the car park. That was the only thing we knew about the location of our car. It was somewhere in the car park. But we were so disorientated, we didn't even know whether we were in the car park at that point. So we spent an hour pressing the car keys and trying to find the flashing lights from the brake lights of the car. After we had successfully found the car, we got in it and had a little meltdown because now we had to drive home in the fog. And thus starting the most terrifying car journey drive home I've ever experienced in my life ever. Oh my god, almost died, gonna cry. Yes. Why? Basically, my mum is a bad driver anyway. I normally sit gripping the seat. So imagine driving home with her when you can't see 1 foot in front of you. No. And we were in some sort of countryside with lanes and probably cows running across the floor. And we literally had no clue where we were. At one point we were driving along a dual carriageway, which is basically like a smaller version of a motorway where you drive really fast and you don't ever stop. No, do not stop on a dual carriageway. We stopped on a dual carriageway. We didn't know whether there was anyone behind us, we didn't know whether there was anyone in front of us, but Mum said she saw like a mirage of maybe a camel or something, and she had to stop because she thought she'd crash into it. So, that was terrifying. We did make it home that day, but it took us about 3 hours longer than it normally does, and I never want to get in a car with my mum again. Yes. And finally, the third and my most favourite near-death experience. How can you have a favourite? I shouldn't have a favourite near-death experience, but I do. Let's start from the beginning. Where I live in a little village. It's a nice village, you know, friendly people, strange people, Mad Mary, Drunk Dave, to name a few. And also the guy that tried to blow up my primary school is in the mix somewhere. Yes, you heard that right, there was a guy that tried to blow up my primary school. Basically, my class, I was in year 4, so to all you Americans, grade 4, probably not, maybe grade 5. I don't know. Let's just say I was 8. Anyway, I was in my classroom, and my classroom is elevated from the ground. I don't know why. Maybe to do with earthquakes. We don't get earthquakes in England, but just in case. You could crawl underneath it, which we weren't allowed to do. So some guy, who is a lovely human being, might I add, he had, the night before, crawled under my classroom and planted bombs under it. That's right, real, actual bombs he had made himself. Nutter. But I can confirm they were real bombs. They would have exploded at some point during the day had not someone discovered them beforehand. Anyway, I was in the classroom, probably drawing a picture of Eeyore or something, and the police came in and they were like, "Get out! Get out now! Get out!" We were like, "Why? No! What's going on?" They would have just said, "Get out, come with us, quick now." Our whole school assembled in our playground and they brought us to the park, which is outside my house. Once we got there, they figured it was safe enough to tell us what was going on, and they revealed that someone had planted bombs in our school. They had also planted bombs in the infant school and the senior school, so they obviously do not like children. Anyway, we were in the park, might I add, it was the hottest day of the year, and we were not ready for spending 6 hours in a park. So we tried to find shade, and there is one big tree in the park, and it was probably the only tree that had a good enough amount of shade to fit a whole school underneath. So our teachers all crammed us in to this tree shade. the tree has a little hole in it, and we all didn't think anything of it at the time because we don't suspect things at that age. I was like in the hole basically, and the police came running in again, like, get away, get out, move. Turns out there was bombs in the tree as well. He was on his game that day, that bomb man, crazy person. But thank the Lord, thank God, thank Beyonce for being on our side that day, because I didn't want to be blown up that day. So I think I need to turn this video into something that you can actually learn from. So number 1, don't put handbags on handbrakes. Number 2, don't drive in the fog. Number 3, don't sit in tree holes. Anyway, that's enough of the morbid talk today. I will see you next week. I feel like I should just make videos when I get the urge, which could be 7 videos a week, you know. I could have the urge to film a video every day, and I hope for your sake that you don't have to witness that. So maybe 1 or 2 videos a week when I get urges. I'm going off on a ramble. I need to go to bed. I will see you next week. Bye!